Welcome back to the Aro Benaiah Show, where we shine light on the stories of entrepreneur, trade people, and hands-on leaders who build with passion and inspire the next generation. Today, I'm excited to join Amy Barrickman, an accomplished interior design, the founder of Barrickman Design, and the author of the upcoming book, The Living Room Design Formula. Over the past 15 years, Amy has built a career helping people create beautiful livable space while also sharing her knowledge with millions through social media and on TV appearance. Amy, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk about all the things.
All right, thank you. So, Amy, what was it like growing up?
Well, it's so interesting because after listening to your podcast, I have seen how you have a theme of people who grow up with a blue collar background and how they turn this into a career. And
Yeah,
I think that's a really interesting section to look at. And my experience was I grew up very kind of average, middle class, which is wonderful, of course, no problem.
yeah,
But I ended up being an interior designer, which is a career that is definitely a more white collar type of career, right?
yeah,
So I grew up with this in a wonderful, supportive home, but I kind of had one step. My mother came from a more white collar area, my dad came from a more blue collar area. So I kind of had one step in both worlds. And I think that really helped me develop my career as a business owner, but also understanding what it's like to be the person doing the work, and being able to relate to the people who are hiring you and the
yeah,
people that you are working with.
yeah. Wow, amazing, amazing. So, who actually more like inform or your sense of style and creativity while you were growing up? Is it more from your dad or from your mom or both of them together?
It's, you know what? It really is both of them together. My dad would definitely not think it's him at all. And my dad is not fancy. My mom is fancy a little bit. But there are a couple of influences there. First of all, my dad, coming from a blue collar background, he's very resourceful, always about using everything. And that's helpful in design because you have to, as an interior designer or in your own home, you have to be clever. You have to
Yeah.
come up with unique solutions. So that helped me. My mom likes fancy things, but one of the biggest influences would have been my grandmother had a
Wow.
great sense of style, and she also had an interior designer.
Wow.
And I think about him all the time. He's probably passed many years ago, but
Wow.
I think about him because I still remember as a kid they had grass cloth wallpaper, and that was not something I was used to. And I remember thinking how cool that was, not to just have paint, but to have a texture on the
Yeah.
wall. It was so cool. So I have to give him some credit. He had an influence.
Wow. It simply means you had tribe of mentors all around while growing up.
Yes.
So more like was there any at any points while you were growing up or let's say childhood you have some particular experience, let's say working with some tools, working with a particular stuff at a particular age where you were actually more like yeah, working with stuff to design space while you were growing up, let's say as a child or more like at a certain age. Were there any of those earlier moments that actually more like speak volume onto this?
Well, that's a good question because I did notice two things. First of all, when I was a kid, I used to move my furniture around all the time in
Ooh,
my room. And I should have known, I should have had a clue that that was something I wanted to do. In high school, we all had to take a test to match us with a career. So it would say, like, you would be good at this. So you'd take this test. Do you
yeah.
like this? Do you like that? And then at the end, it told me a good career would be an interior designer. And I looked at that and I said, no, I don't want to do that. But now we laugh because obviously that career test was right.
Wow, amazing. So as at when you actually more like took that particular test and it revealed to you that it was interior design, and at first you were a bit more like you shrug it off that that is not
Yes.
going to be what you are going to look at. What's now changed your decision later on, and how did you came to embrace it?
That's a good question. I shrugged it off because I thought, no, I want to do something important. I want to change the world. Right. And what's funny about that is I think that being an interior designer and really helping people create a home that they love is changing the world, which I know that sounds silly, but if you feel good in your home, if you feel comfortable and happy, that is good for everyone. That's
Yeah,
good for you. It's good for the people you work with. It's good for your family. So, what ultimately changed my mind was after going through life and graduating college, I realized, wait, this is really fun. I like this. I want to do this. But I can tell myself that maybe I'm not changing the world the way I thought I was going to. I thought I would be a lawyer and do all that hard stuff. And what I do isn't easy, but it is more fun.
yeah,
So I get to have fun and change the world in a small way.
yeah. I think that's for me very very interesting because I can remember when I was yeah, when I was in I think in year two in school, I was doing something related to interior decor, not design anyway. And I could remember more like clients inviting me into their space then, especially to design, to actually decorate their children's room with painting, just some different styles to combine colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, as little as those moments might be, it was very, very lovely because especially the feedback I get from these children. Sometimes they will just come around and say, "Ah, Uncle, you're having fun. I want to have fun with you." So, so Mhm. Yeah, it was really interesting, and the outcome of it when I'm done, they will reach out and say, "Ah, thank you so much. It looked very beautiful." I'm like, "Wow, it actually means a whole lot to me compared to what they
It
get to
feels
feel."
so
So,
good, doesn't
yeah,
it?
like
It
feels
feels
so
so
good.
good. Yes. And you know what? I think that's so important in life, whether you're painting or
Yeah,
building things or running any type of business, you have to love it. You have
yeah,
to you have to get some you're not always
yeah,
going to love it, but you have to love some part of it to keep
yeah,
you going.
yeah. So true, so true, so true. Yeah,
Have
thank you very
fun
much.
is important.
Thank you very much for that. Because I think if you are not having fun in getting it, sometimes you might not, how will I make reference of this now? You might not spend quality time in doing the necessary job that is demanded towards getting a particular standard of the work you are looking at, is except you love it. Because there is this part that more like, how will I make reference of it? There is this non-verbal communication between the two you are working with and you. And when you get to love what you do, you will find more like it will almost be like a song, more like a symphony, connecting
Yeah.
with every rhythm. You are connecting with all of them, and it over time
That's
you
so
discover
funny.
that it's
It's funny that you describe it as a symphony because I think that's what interior designers and business owners do really well.
yeah,
It's like the symphony of it all. And that's part of when I put together my book, The Living Room Design
yeah,
Formula,
very.
which I have to give a little plug. It is on Amazon now.
Wow,
Living
wow,
Room Design
amazing.
Formula.
All right,
But the whole idea is the symphony of it all. So anyone can do this, but most people don't have that idea of being able to see it all come together.
yeah,
They know I like this, I like that, but they don't know how to make it all flow.
yeah,
What designers do is we make it all flow. And that's why I wrote the book, because I thought if I could show people the formula that I
yeah,
use and how I make it all fit together, then they could make it all fit together on
yeah.
their own and they wouldn't have to hire a designer. So
Wow,
that's the
wow,
idea. But it is
wow.
all about that symphony of all these pieces coming
Yeah.
together to make one beautiful thing.
Wow, that is amazing. I think from what you just described simply means the book give more like these mental pictures of what is expected at the end of the day without having, yeah, more like a pictorial, more like view of what, how everything is going to fit in without necessarily,
Absolutely.
yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Well, absolutely. And I say that I do some videos on YouTube and I say, look, my book, it does not have a lot of pictures. It's not about the pictures of my work. There are some pictures in there, but it's not about what I've done. It's about you. It's
Yeah.
about the person reading it. It's about what you want in your home. So this is the tool to help you create that space that you feel good in. And that's good.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Amy. I know my audience is going to
Thank you.
definitely like this, especially those who are in trade people who want to, yeah, beyond just telling their client that, yeah, the outcome is going to be fine. They could actually more like through the blueprint of your book, being able to describe it, not just tell, but give a pictorial idea of it. Because sometimes that is very, very key in terms of communicating very well with your ideal clients, not just telling them what to
Hmm.
expect, but giving them a pictorial view of what is
Right.
obtainable. And that is very, very key. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. It's so key.
All right. Yeah, okay. While you were actually growing up, were they part more like some couples of jobs that you do maybe before you enter school or after school before more like interior design actually more like get to fit in, and sometimes it's a little here, a little there, later it got to fit together and decide that this is how I'm going to change the world. How was it for you?
Absolutely. I think it's so funny because we all have these different jobs growing up and we learn different things and they come together so perfectly.
Yeah.
I worked in a clothing store, and what I learned there was how to make things look neat and uniform, like folding the shirts on a board and
Yeah.
putting them all in a row. And I was a waitress, so I had to learn to charm people. I had to learn to like talk with them, and it was a really nice restaurant. I had to make this beautiful experience for them. And I also was a pharmaceutical sales rep. So I would go
Wow.
talk to doctors who were busy and didn't want to see me. And I had to explain something really quickly and get them to say, yes,
Yeah.
I will use your product. So I had this experience of the design from seeing things. I had this experience of people, and I had this experience of sales.
Wow.
And those three things really came together for me. I needed those,
Yeah.
or I could not have been successful in my business because all I do now is go in and make things look neat and talk with people and charm them
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also sell. I don't have to sell a product per se, but I'm selling my ideas. So I have to sell that.
Yeah.
And sales is important, I think, for almost everyone.
Yeah. So key because I think in fact, across every trade industries, sales is very, very more critical because sometimes a whole lot of business didn't get it right because they didn't get their sales right. Because
Hmm.
once you know sales, I think there's nothing basically you can venture in, and having those experiences from those various places, it's really amazing actually. And thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's a hard skill to learn, I think, for people because it's not natural to ask.
yeah,
And you know what? That depends by culture, of course. But I know I didn't grow up asking.
yeah,
It was like you weren't supposed to. So I had to get comfortable with asking, will you buy
yeah,
this? Do you want this? Will you do this? And once you get comfortable with it, it's so easy and so important.
yeah. I think the sales stuff you just make reference, it just reminds me of my earlier experience. Owing to the fact that I think I usually feel guilty at one point that do I have to say to people if I'm just good at what I do, they should reach out.
Right.
I shouldn't be the one knocking on doors and reaching out. And that particular thought actually lingered. And during this period, I hardly reach out to people, and I hardly even post. I hardly even more like show up on my various space. And owing to the fact that I'm like, I'm already good. They should be the one looking out for me. It was until I read this particular book, that make reference of show your work. What's the name of this guy again? Yeah, by Austin Kleon on Show Your Work. So I was trying to make reference
Okay.
of, yeah, I think I read Austin Kleon and I read more like Seth Godin's book also. And I was trying to make reference of the fact that see yourself as the fact that you are helping your ideal clients get the result they actually want to get. So you don't want them to fall victim of those who couldn't get the job done right, owing to the fact that you were not in any radar to be seen. So what you need to do is to position yourself very well and reach out. See yourself as more like You are just more like a savior, liberating them from all their various things and bringing them to
Yes.
the right expectation they're looking forward to. And when I actually get this perspective, it was amazing. Then I think I was in year 3. I literally knock on all the various doors. Then I just learned carpentry and I was looking forward to how to make money. Owing to this idea, I was knocking at every door, asking them that, did they want to repair their cupboard? Did you have this? Did you have this? Some of them will say no. Some of them will say this. Some of them will asking, where are you coming from? Is it the school authority that sent you? I was a student in that particular hostel. I said, yes, it's more like, it's the school authority that sent me, whereas they weren't. So like they were the one that sent me, but I said, but you need to encourage me with some cash so that I can keep returning back. So it was really amazing having to learn sales through that particular end, and yeah, that actually more like changed my perspective of selling yourself out there. Yeah, not being ashamed of it, being that you're seeing yourself as an end to a particular means. You're not just seeing yourself as more of how will I say it, extorting your clients. You are just actually more like giving a helping hands and solving their problem, which is very, very key compared to the poor victim of those who couldn't do the job right.
Well, that is for your listeners, because I know you have a lot of listeners who
Yeah,
are building a business.
yeah, pretty busy.
And what you said really hits me, because one thing that I always did from the very beginning is when I had a client, first of all, I was like, I'm so happy that I have this client. I'm so grateful. No matter who it is, no matter
Yeah,
how big or little,
yes,
I'm so grateful. But I never talk badly about my clients, ever.
yeah,
There are some things they've done that maybe I didn't love, but I never talk badly about my clients. But I do always talk nicely about my clients. So if I meet with a contractor and they say, okay, we're doing this job, how's this person? I say, they are great. They are the best. Now, I don't have to lie because I have really nice clients, but I think the reason I have really nice clients is because I always talk nicely about them.
yeah,
So it's like nice people come to me because I had like a nice person and then they told their friend who was also nice
yeah,
and easy to work with. So I think that's so important when you're starting a business or growing a business. Some people, they're growing the business, they go, "Oh, this guy, he's a jerk and he didn't do this and he won't call me. He's mad," or whatever. I think it's really important just to
yeah,
focus on what you do like, and that helps. And then you get more nice, easy clients.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, yeah. So profound. What you just make reference of is very, very key in uh, client retention and referee every now and then, because I discover for some trade persons when they have issue with their clients, they end up posting it that I have this difficult. I'm like, you don't have to speak that bad and even go on social media and post it. In fact, your upcoming clients will almost see the post and say, wow, you mean
Yeah.
I'll fall victim of this if I should go through this person's hand? For me, which is not really what I would do if I was to be in that particular space is to just thank the person, say, yeah, it's lovely working with you, but will I work with you again? If it's more like, how will I make reference? I think I have some difficult clients that I got to work with a particular time, and owing to that, and I discovered that this particular client, often he actually more like, uh, based on what we agree and what he's going to do later on is totally different, and it's hurting my feelings and hurting a whole lot of particular job I do. So I just thanked him a particular time. I said, I can no longer work with you. And for me, that was,
You know
I
what?
I don't need to say anything in my other platform or other things at all. I don't have to actually.
And I'm so glad you said that, because that is the second thing, is like I always had nice clients, but there were a couple clients along the way and I would either just lose their number or or there were a couple times where I said, "I'm sorry, I can't work with you right now. I can't work it in my schedule. I'm sorry." But to your point, you don't go talking about it and get
Yeah,
mad and everything. You go, "Okay, I'm sorry, this is not going to work. Can't work with you again," or
yeah,
"I'm busy. I'm
yeah,
busy.
exactly, exactly. I think
I'm
I,
busy now, but get over it, move on, and
Yeah.
focus on this client who's so nice and pays on
So
time and
nice. Yeah.
wants me to be taken care of, right? Because it has to be a partnership and it's hard. I think even what you do is even more hard.
Yeah.
What I do is I'm working with that person. We're friends,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
we become friends. So it's easier. But when you're working in someone's home, they're getting annoyed. It's like they want you out of their house. They want it to be, but they want it perfect. It's hard.
Yeah, actually, it's really, really hard. I think to what you just said, it's very, very key that you know how to actually more like manage clients in terms of when they're becoming demanding, when they're becoming difficult. Because I've discovered that even those who are difficult sometimes, when you actually treat them nice, even as much as you might not want to take job from them again, they end up even referring you to other persons. Yeah,
Right.
actually. So so at the end of the day, I think treating your clients very well, it's very, very key in getting more job, in getting more gig. And for those who are not doing much as you expected, they are not working according to the agreement. Yeah, just thank them for their time being and move to the next
Yeah.
client.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, okay, so how did you deal with your more like your those clients that are very, very demanding for you to deal with? I just want to hear your perspective. I don't want to. I know you make reference of it earlier on, but I want to have a correct blueprint on how you deal with those hard clients that comes around and maybe they didn't do according to the agreements, or more like they flaunt a whole lot of these particular things. Let's say those rules that was being set, or those basically, I don't know. I'm just saying, how were you able to deal with them?
Well, there are two ways to deal with them. One is you work with them, and I think education, explaining goes a long way. So,
Yeah,
um, I explain to them, maybe they think it should take less time and be less expensive.
yeah,
Okay, here's why I have to spend this much time. And this is what I'm doing. And this is what I'm saving you. Because by doing it this way, I'm doing it better. And therefore, it's easier. So, educating, I think, is so important. But
yeah,
then, if they're really difficult and it's our personalities don't work, that's when I just get really busy.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Finish the work we agreed to, but then, okay, I can't do the next one. I'm sorry, I'm busy and I'm working on something. But I wrote a book. You can buy my book instead.
Amazing! What a lovely strategy. I think it's very, very, very necessary because sometimes I discovered the biggest issue having to deal with clients is the fact that you didn't set the expectation right. And over
Hmm.
time it triggers into different kind of things because when you set the expectation right and they know what is expected and they know what the outcome is going to be, you didn't hype it, you didn't bluff, you didn't make bluff and bluff of it, and they are now thinking of they are way thinking of higher things compared to, because sometimes these days I'm not even more like uh in a bid to actually close deal very, very fast. I ask all the necessary questions that I need to ask. I ask more like, because I've learned from a particular I think up to 2 or 3 episodes ago, and a particular more like guest that came to my show was actually make reference of the fact that what he does is he will actually more like make reference of the expectation, ask the clients what is the ideal, in quotes, his ID perfection, what he wants in the job. And after more like asking him this particular question to gauge what he actually wants, he actually more like make reference of what is expected and what the outcome is going to be like. And if what he's explaining, owing to he knows the profession so very well, is not aligned to what the client is looking forward to, owing to he has more like this weird expectation which cannot be achievable owing to that line of job. So what he basically does is he will just tell her that I think I can't be the one to help in this particular case. I have a number of
Hmm.
friends that you can reach out to. I hope they can help you. But for me, I can't. I can't help you with this
Right.
desire more like outcome you are looking at. I think in that very way, he just more like debunks the fact that he's not. How will I say it now? In a bid to close deal, go and close the deal that at the end of the day
Hmm.
is not going to. I think every trade person should actually more like, yeah, what do you think?
Well, I agree because I think when people like you, people like me, we want to please. We want to do the thing the client
Yeah.
wants. We
Yes.
want to say yes. We can do that. Yes, I can do that. But sometimes you can't or you're not sure. And in the beginning of my career, I would just try to figure things out. I would
Yeah.
think, I've never done this before, but I can figure it out. And sometimes that works,
Yeah.
but I think it's smart to really understand what you're good at and focus on that and then just
Yeah.
slowly do more
Yeah.
rather than
True.
just saying, yes, I can do it all. I've worked
Yeah.
with so many contractors over the years, and the best ones do say no.
Hmm.
They don't say no to any specific thing necessarily, but the best contractors are willing to say, I can't do that
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
or I can do that, but it's going to cost a lot of money. They're willing to say that. Whereas the contractors that I like, but maybe their work isn't quite as good, they say yes to everything, and then there are problems. So what you said is so good, is you have to be really clear about expectations.
Yeah.
And I think that happens every time you see the client. So
Yeah.
in the beginning, you're clear, but also next time, hey, I want to let you know this is where we are with whatever is happening here, and I want you to know it's going to take this many days, or it could be 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But just always communicating, because I think that's where a relationship goes south,
Yeah.
is when the contractor or the service provider like me, we want to say, oh, it's almost finished. Oh, you're going to love it. It's going to be great. But maybe there is a problem we're not totally addressing.
Yeah. So key. So key. I think you are right, because even me, I got to discover this owing to, because each project I'm done with, I usually reach out to the clients and ask for their feedback in respect of how I perform. Let's say from the range of 1 to 10. And over time, I've discovered that some actually express positive, but they make reference of a particular but. And sometimes I would just apologize that I'm sorry. I should have made that clear from the outset that this thing you're looking at couldn't be achievable. So over time, yeah.
And it's
So
hard because
yes,
you are supposed to do everything, right? Like it's hard when you're working in people's homes. You're supposed to know it all.
yeah,
So it's hard to predict everything. It's not, sometimes I tell clients that in the beginning. I say, just so you know, there will be problems. We will have issues. We're going to
yeah,
fix them. We're going to work together, but it's going to happen. It happens every project.
yeah,
I also like to joke with my clients if they finally are, let's say they get not mad, but like, hey, what's going on here? Or, oh, I'm not sure that this is right. This sofa's too big, or this whatever. And I go, oh, you finally got upset. Well, it's about time, because that happens every job. And I've been waiting. I've been looking at my clock, and you haven't gotten upset yet. You're finally upset. Okay, good. We made it here. This happens every single time. So I'm glad we got that over with.
amazing. Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering because the last statement you make reference of, I didn't get it. I was like, was it the network? All right. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So, at what point did you like it became done on you that you're going for interior design, and how did you start taking it seriously? But like I know earlier on when you actually take the test, that it actually showed the fact that you were going for interior design, but you were not convinced, being that you want to change the word. And so, at what point do you actually more like go all out for it? And what was your decision, and how did it went out?
Well, I knew I was interested in interior design, and I enrolled in a certificate program.
Okay.
So here I was able to do a certificate program. I already had a college degree, so I didn't want to go back to college to do
Okay.
that. So I did this certificate program. But having a degree in design doesn't really get you all that much.
Yeah.
Um, it depends on what you want to do. So for anyone out there who's interested, there are lots of jobs in the interior design world, but I wanted my own thing. I wanted to be my own business and have my own clients. I didn't want to work for someone else. So I started by working with friends. I had a friend who was pregnant and she wanted to design a nursery. And I said I would help her for free. She had to pay for everything, but I didn't charge her for my
Yeah.
time. And that was really good experience because it was my first time
Yeah.
working with a client. But it was interesting because I didn't charge her and because we were
Yeah.
friends, she didn't always take all the advice I gave her. So one day I said to her, I just want to know, am I your friend or am I your interior designer? When it comes to this nursery, who am I? Am I your friend or your designer? And she said, "Oh, you're right. Okay, you're my designer." And I was like, "Good, because I need you to treat me that way." And that was really a moment where I realized I have to get people to treat me that way before I walk in the door.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is you have to charge. You cannot work for free, not even 1 minute for free. I don't do a free consultation. No, I charge because every minute I'm at someone's house, I give value.
Yeah.
I show them what they can do. Even the little things like, oh, you should paint your baseboard to match, you should paint your
Yeah.
quarter round to match your baseboard. Little things like that. I'm always giving value anywhere I can. And that's why I always charge for my time. And that's the way to get the respect of the
Yeah.
client, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very, very key. And I know also more like starting out, especially in this particular field of yours, it could be very, very demanding. Imagine having a certificate but there's no experience. I think being an interior design with certificates and no experience is as though you have not even got started, because because I think experience actually speaks volume in terms of how you could actually more like fit in things together, because your interplay with those particular material things is going to inform, in fact, it's going to more like strengthen your confidence when you're reaching out to clients. And
Definitely.
it's going to do a whole lot of stuff too when you're even negotiating, compared to when you
And
had to start with.
I should add one point, which is I worked with my friend first, but then I did get a job for 1 year. I
Oh,
worked at a store that sold window treatments, curtains, and furniture. For one
amazing.
year, I did that to learn the business, and I really needed that. I really needed that
Yeah.
experience of going on someone else's dime, right? They're
Yeah.
on the mistakes that I made, I didn't have to pay for
Yeah.
because,
Yes.
as you know, the mistakes can get expensive. And there are always mistakes, even the most thoughtful, the best system. There's always going to be something. So you have to be prepared for that. So I'm glad that I worked for someone else for
Yeah.
1 year before I
Yeah.
started out on
Venture
my
into
own.
it. Yeah. I think that was really more like a smart move for you, because a whole lot of trade business out there. The how will I say it? Making a mistake cost a whole lot, and you can't start playing with the budget of your client. So if you are just starting out, more like getting an internship, getting to work somewhere that they do that particular stuff, it's a big win compared to you trying to figure it out as you go. Because at the end of the day, you might end up destroying client stuff, your reputation is going to go south, and a whole lot of things is not going to go very well compared to when you work with someone, because you working there now, you know how material plays out, you know what texture is, you know what how these blend with these, and what make this speak loud, make this one loud. So it's really amazing. It's really
It is,
amazing.
it's really important. It's so helpful.
Yeah.
Everyone should do that because actually looking back, like that's the one thing I wish I had done more of
Yeah.
is not necessarily working, but investing. I was always trying to do it by myself,
Yeah.
always trying to like just figure it out and
Yeah.
not spend money on anything, just like figure it out by me. And I wish I had really spent maybe more money to learn the right way or do it the right way earlier. Because when you are trying to start with less, then you end up not with the best product.
Yeah,
So I
so
think like
so true.
having more help, having more people work for me, not just trying to do it all by myself, I think that would have made my business more successful and earlier too.
Yeah, so
Wouldn't
true,
have
so
taken as long.
so true, so true. Because even me, I remember when I actually started industrial cleaning. Yes, I was some couple of jobs was coming out. Then I charge far less, and at the end of the day, I get tired and almost burn out in particular from each project, and still there's no much to take home. So it was
Mm-hmm.
until I started going for more like 2 or 3 trainings and have mentors, and hearing them sharing similar stories. And through their various mistakes that they have gone through, I could actually see myself in this picture making the same mistake. It was
Mm-hmm.
through their help. It was not better for it. I don't see a various way where I could actually make things right. I get to hire some couple of persons, and yeah, being able to kind of work things right. And when I came back, it's now informed my perspective on to the fact that I could actually charge and not feel guilty that I'm charging, being that I've already paid for even training. So I would
Yeah. No,
so,
I don't think you should ever feel guilty about charging, because I always, when I train new people who work with me, I always say, look, that's not free money.
yeah.
You're going to work for that money. You think it's free now? It's not free money. You are going to work for that. Something's going to happen. You're going to be on the phone. You're going to be talking with someone. You're going to be doing something. You need that. You need
Yeah.
that cushion.
Yeah, so true, so true. So after 15 years of interior design, what common mistake do you see new or young interior design? What mistake do you see them make every now and then?
Well, I think the biggest mistake that people make, whether they're interior designers that are starting out or homeowners, is not understanding the exact dimensions of the space.
Mm,
Okay, so the measurements are so important, and that sounds obvious, but I've met so many people that they're like, well, I really liked this sofa, so I bought it. But then the sofa, if it's not the best fit for that room, it could be the most beautiful sofa in the
yeah,
world, but it will never look right.
yeah,
I I joke that when we move, I have to get new furniture because I buy furniture for my house or for clients. It's exactly for the room. It's just for that one room that we live in. And then when you
yeah,
move, sometimes it works, but usually not.
yeah,
Right? So measurements are so important and really understanding the space. And then beyond that, it's just understanding the space and the client. Who's living there? If I can give someone something that works for them and their family, that is like, that's like giving them a gift. So if they need a specific thing, like they need storage in a certain area that they never had before, and you realize, oh, they look, all this stuff is out, and they would like to be able to put that away, and you can show them how that can improve their lives. Well, now your client or yourself, if it's for a homeowner, you've you're not just designing,
yeah,
you're not just making it look good, you're making it work well.
yeah.
And that is the bonus. So understanding the exact space, but also understanding the people who are there and what they need from the
Mm.
space.
Wow, wow. Understanding more like in terms of the dimension of the place, and also understand the people. To
I ask
digging
so
into
many
their
questions.
yeah, ask
And
so many questions so that you could
I
actually more
ask my
like
clients so many questions. I always joke that if I do someone's closet, I have to know how many pairs of underwear they have, which is weird. But and I don't really know exactly. But my point is, if I'm doing their closet, I have to understand how they use their closet. I
yeah,
can't just put in a closet that should be right. It has to be exactly right for them. Do they like purses? Do they like shoes? Do they not wear any dresses? Do they only want drawers? There's so many questions.
yeah,
Same thing with a living room. So in the book, The Living Room Design Formula, chapter 2 has tons of questions.
Wow.
Lots of questions about how will you use this space? What time of day? Do your kids use it? Do your friends use it? Lots of different questions. And you need to ask yourself those questions in your own home, or if you're working for someone else, really understand so that when you present the design to yourself or to a
Yeah.
homeowner, you're giving them that key. You're making the puzzle piece fit.
Yeah, so key, so key. I think it's amazing to the fact that those questions oftentimes even deepen your relationship between the client and you, being that the more you are asking, the more they are even getting to discover, yeah, what their main agenda was. Because sometimes, sometimes at a point, some persons actually, we just have this noise in our head that we are not that clear of what we want or what we're actually looking at. So during those period of interrogation, it make it clear and sharpens, and they could actually more like make
Yes.
concrete decision on
Right.
why they actually more like choose what they want to choose, because they will think it, because they are saying it, they are thinking it along the memory lanes, not just assuming without having more like a meta picture. Yeah, thank you too.
Absolutely. It's like we were talking about setting
Yeah, setting
expectations.
expectation.
It helps you set expectations, but it also helps you understand, like you said, it deepens your relationship with the client. Wait, can you still see me? There we go.
Yeah, okay, yes,
It deepens your relationship, but also it allows you to understand some, like you said, sometimes they think they want one thing,
yeah,
but you realize when you're talking, you're like, oh, you don't really want that. What you want is
is
this.
this,
And when you show them that, they're like, oh, that is great. And that's when that client will never leave you and they will love you
yeah,
forever.
the, owing
Once
to
you
the,
get that.
yeah, because you just took them through a journey to arrive at the destination. They will never
Yes.
forget that journey most times, because they will keep remembering it that if not for this designer, I would have made this huge mistake. And
Yes.
that was really big. All right. Many young people want to break into creative trades career, but they don't know how to start. So, what would be your practical advice to, let's say, college students who are leaving school, or those who actually want to break through more like into trade business and interior design and various other jobs that require more like some handing job or some experience. So, what would be your practical advice to them?
Right. Well, there's nothing like the real experience of working for someone else who's doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. That I think is the most important. But I'm also going to add one other thing, which is if you want to work for clients who have really nice houses and spend a lot of money, I think you have to go be around those people somehow. And I don't mean, this could be simple. This could just be like if there's a really nice coffee shop that's maybe expensive that you don't normally go to, one day dress up and go there and just sit and be around those people to understand. Because when you come, especially if you come from like a more middle class background, you want to fit in to that world.
Yeah.
So people, if you're looking for clients who are high end, which we all want them, right?
Yeah.
We want the clients who have the money to
Yeah,
spend and do it
definitely.
nicely. So if you're looking for that, you want to show them that you understand them and that you're part of that world in whatever small way there is. So of
Oh,
course the experience, but also just be around, integrate, and understand how they live, and allow that to be a guide for you.
wow, wow, amazing. More like you going for internship and get to learn from someone, or you going to various spaces where that particular thing is dominant, so that, yeah, you just seeing it, you could see more like how they actually do what they do. And yeah, I think in a way too, you being around where they do those particular things, it even spur this creativity, that there will just be this energy that, as much as you keep looking at it, at one point how the outworking of those things was being done, being that you have stayed long enough and you have got to see it, you can know how more like how this material play with this material to be able to kind of achieve this desirable outcome. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
really, really profound. So what opportunity do you see today? Maybe even opportunity that maybe they haven't get started yet, especially in trade industries, being that you work with construction engineers and various sites, those who are in various places at all. So more like, which opportunity do you see that you think young people can actually tap into today that are still lagging in terms of not much persons tapping into it? Is there any more like any of this?
Well, there are in where I live, and it might be different. I want to
Yeah,
hear if it's different where you are. Where I live, we need tradespeople. We need craftsmen who do excellent work. There are not enough. And my industry, the interior design industry in America, has a goal of getting more and training them, not just people who want to um, just get a job done. The trade industry in America is looking for people who can build furniture really well, who want to take the time to learn how to maybe not just paint, but paint a lacquer wall that looks like glass, do that stuff that's special, and it's hard to do. This is not easy
yeah,
stuff to do. This requires someone who is willing to put in the time and
yeah,
understand and cares. So if you are someone that's young and wants to get into it, there is so much opportunity. I
yeah,
imagine it's the same where you are, but I don't
yeah,
know. I
yeah,
just know that here we need more people who make things extra special, who want to do the things that are extra special, not just get the job done. Um, but of course, easier said than done, right? Because you have to make money in the process too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so true, so true. I
but if
think
you
what,
can find a niche, if you can find that little thing, maybe it's making furniture, maybe it's painting that lacquer wall,
yeah,
maybe it's putting up wallpaper. If you can find that thing and focus on it and do it really well, I think there's so much business for someone who does something high end and does it well.
yeah, exactly. Because I think more like craftsmanship is very, very key in terms of building a nation and in terms of building a whole lot of stuff when it comes to house, when it comes to any particular project at all. So beyond just doing what you do, there should be this energy, this passion, this particular love that you get to do. Because once clients get to see this often and often, it's going to be more like a big win-win compared to you just doing job for just showing off sake.
Absolutely.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because sometimes I work with some trade persons. I will be like, why do I have to push you to do what you do? You should be
Mm-hmm.
naturally motivated in doing this. I shouldn't be the one boxing you around, trying to
Yes.
find out you coming around. No, you shouldn't. You should have this energy. I'm
No.
the one saying, young man, be coming down. So that should be it. Not me saying, when are you going to show up? When will you get started?
Yeah.
Chasing you all around instead of yeah, it's
Right.
really, really key. It's those levels of craftsmen, they're actually more like lacking out. And I think for young persons who are actually willing to go into the trades, who are willing to put in the time, there's a whole lot of leverage if they could actually come
So
with this energy,
much.
a whole lot of leverage.
If you're good at a trade, if you're really good, you will have so much business you won't be
Yeah,
able to handle it all.
and yeah, actually. Yeah, thank you. So for home owners or family listening to you who want simple design formula, uh, can you give them more like a little blueprint, more like let's say just a bonus of what they could actually more like tweak and to change their space towards more like what they desire?
Right. So, well, of course, I wrote a book about it, the living room design formula, but
Yeah.
I'll give you a little brief thing, which is first of all, ask yourself the questions of what do you want in the space. Secondly, measure the space and make sure that the furniture you have is going to have is going to flow nicely. And there are a lot more detailed instructions in the living room design formula, which is on Amazon, and you can also get on Kindle. So
Okay.
there are much more detailed ways to how to measure. But then I want my next piece of advice is before you buy things, put together a mood board. So this is basically your looking at the ideas you like and you're putting them all together on one poster or one computer screen. I like to do it on a poster,
Yeah.
on a big poster board. By putting together a mood board, what you're getting is the ability to see it all in that symphony
Yeah.
that we talked about.
Yeah.
You're able to see that whole symphony of it all. And that is a beautiful thing because it gives you the ability to say, oh, this does fit with this or this doesn't fit. Then you start buying. So you should know what you're doing before you buy anything. Once you have your concept, that's when you start buying, and that's when you fit all those puzzle pieces into the space.
Yeah, amazing. Having more like either through a computer or more like a bluebird, you being able to specify everything you actually get to need. I think that is very, very key making the decision, because just seeing them playing out, we rather make it, we inform you, do I still need this? Should I strike out this out of it? Will this one make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think,
exactly.
yeah, it will help you more like in terms of yeah, giving you more like a big vision of what the outcome is going to be like, other than just going out
Right.
buying and at the end of the day buying what you don't need.
Well, that's what happens a lot. A lot of people, they just start. They think, okay, I need a couch. I buy a couch. I need something to go on the wall. I buy something to go on the wall. But in order to make sure that it all works together, you have to look at it all together. So even if you're working with stuff you already have, before you add anything or move anything, look at how you
Yeah,
want that puzzle to fit together.
yeah. Thank you so much, Amy. This was really, that's really been
Sure.
amazing. So, can you tell us more about your book? And for my clients who is looking forward to more like either building their home, setting their space right, and still they are still trying to kind of figure out what they want. And yeah, so they actually want to have a
Yeah.
better blueprint, and or for those who are into trade business and they are looking forward to more like being able to give a pictorial view of what is expected, without having to go to the school and without having to go to a whole lot of certification, but want to have a blueprint of what it takes. Can you tell us more about your book and how they could get them, and yeah, how they could reach out to you to do business if they want to?
Yeah. So I love how you keep describing it as a blueprint. And that was one of the titles originally, was the design blueprint. We ultimately went with the living room design formula, but the same idea,
Yeah,
right? Is that it is a blueprint. And the way the book is set up is it leads people through the whole process. Now, the idea is that they will go through step by step, but let's just say you are a contractor and you're just working and someone wants to know something about wallpaper. Well, there are sections that you could go to in the book that will help you get your mind going and help you help them to make the right choice. So the book is set up so that it goes through all the sections. And I like to leave any podcast interview that I do for anyone out there. A lot of times there are people that they don't know where to start. It's overwhelming to do a whole room. And I understand that. That's actually, really overwhelming to do a whole house.
yeah,
That's why the book is called The Living Room
yeah,
Design
living
Formula
design.
1. It's style your home like a pro, one room at a time, one room.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's really, really important because if you don't do one room at a time, you never do any room. You do rooms, but they're never totally finished. So I really want people to focus on one room, and it could just be for 1 month. It's not like it has to be one room for the rest of your life,
yeah,
but one room, get that room really good so that you can look at and go, I did a great job. And then you have the confidence to move on to the next room. But anyway, I digress. If you want an easy project, if you want something that will look really good to get your juices flowing, I put together a PDF that anyone can download for free. You can go to Gallery Wall Tips. So, like an
gallery
art
water.
gallery,
Okay.
gallerywalltips.com. Gallerywalltips.com, you can download this PDF. And what it is, it's if you have one wall that's lonely, that needs some specialness, you can create this gallery wall. It's pretty easy to do. You can do it
Yeah,
in a couple of days with pictures that you already have. This will give you the step-by-step guide of how to hang the frames, where you should hang them. It even has a recommendation for frames,
Wow.
but the size frame that would work, the types of photos to look at. This is one little thing you can do to make your home look great now.
Yeah.
And then get the book. That's going to get you started. Then get the book, and that's going to push you to finish one room, make your living room look amazing, and then we'll move on to the next room.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
And
you.
and for those who actually want to do business with you, which platform can they reach out to you? How can they connect with you?
Well, please look me up on YouTube. It's Barrickman Design. I'm going to spell that because it's a weird last name. It's Barrickman, Barrickman Design. I'm on YouTube. I do long videos, short videos. You can reach me that way. And I really would love for you to tune in and give me your comments. If there are things that you have questions about or want more information about, it's really helpful when I get those comments, because it helps me know what else I should be writing and what I should be
Yeah.
making videos on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this has really been more like an insightful podcast. You having to share your stories from those various. Yeah, it's really amazing. You know, sometimes what really interests me about this podcast is the fact that I'm getting to dig deep on how more like trade persons and those who have hands-on experience then sharing their stories. It just shows the fact that there's a whole lot of step-to-step procedures, blueprints they actually undergoes in doing what they do. And me just more like hearing it and getting to see it is really, really amazing. Yeah, once again, thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much for having me. I love chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you. So each of this particular link you make reference of is going to be on the show notes for our audience who actually wants to reach out to her and get to know more. And it's going to be on the show notes, and you can. It's just a clip away from the show notes. All right, I mean, it has been such a valuable and inspiring conversation from your childhood influence and your journey building design career. You have shown us that creativity and persistence come together and create opportunity. For a listener who wants to learn more and get Amin's design guide, visit Barrickman Design and get from Amazon. Ami, thanks again for sharing your stories with the Aro Benaiah Show, and it's really a pleasure having you.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So to my audience, remember that whether you are working with your hands or trade, or you are designing your space, remember that your story matters and your skills shape the future. Until next time, keep building, keep growing. It's the Aro Benaiah Show.